Okay. So I'm live, I guess. Yeah, am I going to continue to watch that? Wait, let me quickly. He keeps talking about trades and I don't know what it is. Trades. Rust. How's this guy called? Jon? Oh, without an H. What the heck? Crust of Rust Iterators. Okay. Well, probably. Let me quickly. Rust trades. Trades. Rust by example. Oh yeah, I was told that's good, right? A trade is a collection of methods defined for unknown type self. A collection of methods defined for unknown type. Okay, they can access other methods declared in the same trade. Yeah, well, it's something like that I was expecting, but can be implemented for any data type. In the example below, we define animal, a group of methods. The animal trait is implemented for the sheep data type, allowing the use of methods from animal with a sheep. Okay, so we have a struct sheep. Can I maybe... No, I'm not going to switch my view now. Anyways, okay, so are we live? Yes, we are. Okay, let me... Well, then I guess we watch this video. Well, maybe I can give you some full screen while you're waiting. So let's connect to Lasergurkenland, reachable under lgl.cdhum.com. It's a Anarchy vanilla server, and yeah, seems like my recent efforts of advertising the server again seem to be successful, which is nice. Where can I? Is this a safe place? I would say yes. Yeah, this looks fine. Okay, so right. Okay. Yeah, the last stream was no fun at all for me, if you haven't noticed. But I will try to enjoy this more this time. It was also like messed up with technical issues and shit. Unrewarding time for you straight. Sick motivation, by the way. Undermining. Who was he like? Who was he referring to? Okay, cool. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't chill too much and idle on RSC now while I'm streaming. And I didn't do a proper introduction, but well, fuck the introduction. I will ease into this. It's also like, honestly, we have too many players, not too few, so that's that. So people who want to join can join. That's fine. What do I mean by too many players? I'm not going to explain right now, but please join. Okay, so we are watching Crust of Rust Iterators now. Oh, last stream we were also watching something about Rust. Yes, so the channel is Jon Fuck, does he say his own name? I really can't pronounce that. Okay, so the title is Crust. Well, we might switch videos or stuff like that. I I will see if I can find a flow of like updating the stream description without it being too annoying for me. Why doesn't it say the game title by default? Thumbnail, I don't need that. Cool. Oh, video language is set to German. I might wanna change that. Why is it what? Standard license. Oh yeah, well the dude is licensing his shit under Creative Commons. Yeah, sure he is. Okay, cool. So, where are we streaming to? Are we even live? That's also something that is good to check. Woo! Yes, we also have sound. Say something. Idiot. Oh, jeez. Yeah, sounds good.
Where are we streaming?
I'm just like saying and nothing else. Like, what is this guy? Whatever. Okay, so let's go. Cool. Oh, it's getting night. That's bad. I'm a little bit confused, to be honest. Triple check that everything is fine. I have so many windows open right now, but whatever. Okay, so trades by example. Should I, if I now switch my video source or shit, that's probably a bad idea. Okay, but I will quickly read through that Rust by example page. It's like rustlang.org, Rust by example trade, if you want to follow along. Well, anyways, why do I keep like making it so hard for myself? Nobody will ever like care about all the stuff that I document here and link and whatever. But anyways, okay, so so there's a struct called sheep, and then we have an animal trait. It has a function new, name, noise, talk, and so on. Then we implement what is impl? I don't even know what this keyword means. Then we impl a sheep. Oh, fuck! Can I click on it? Impl. Keyword impl. Implement some functionality for a type. The impl keyword is primarily used to define implementations of types. Inherit implementations are standalone with trait implementations are used to implement traits for types or other traits. Oh Jesus. It's like, well, I guess if you dig into the new C++ whatever thingies, it is also kind of overkill and complicated, but this just feels so, I don't know, so much to take into just for basic programming language. Whatever. Okay, so I'm already at 9 minutes and
implementation blocks, for example, or function signatures.
Oh wait, before I continue. Okay, so then it defines functions and shit, and then we have like animal for sheep. Animal was the trait. And then we get a new self is the implementation of type sheep. Where is I don't even see a self here. What the heck? Okay, well I guess I would just ignore that I don't understand shit and continue watching these videos. I think over time you might accidentally learn something even if you try not to. That's how you learn languages as humans in the first place. Like the language your parents train you. They mess around with like words and shit, and you don't know something, and suddenly, yeah, you are a how's it called if your parents trained you the language? Fuck, I don't know the word. Well, obviously. Native. Ha! Is it native? A native speaker, right? Yeah, well, obviously I'm not a native speaker in English. So. Right. Okay, cool. It's a little bit chopped off. but it's fine. I will not watch it anyways. Well, if I want to plan. Okay, I will try it like this. OBS is blocking half of my view.
Additional generic parameters. The associated type is sort of dictated by which underlying type it is, right? So if I give you a something iterable, right, and you say that you want to use this as an iterator, I immediately know which iterator implementation you mean because there is only one. If, on the other hand, I give you a something service and you want to use it as a service, you have to tell the compiler which request type service do you want it to be. So in general, associated type reduce the amount of extra generic type parameters you need to be using. Okay, so that was a sort of long aside on traits and associated types. Let's look through some questions.
I wish I could. Is there a possibility to...
Before we...
Yeah, no. Probably I need a better window manager if I want to do shit like that. To not tap out of the game, pause the video quickly. I'm really annoyed by like how full screen applications, like, well, only games as far as I know. Maybe also videos. I don't know. Anyways, so it's like, it's just annoying how these full screen applications make your life so harder if you want to interact with other windows, and then if you have overlapping windows, then yeah, you have to reorder them again and shit. But yeah, definitely not going to get into something like i3 or something like that. I don't even know if it solves my issues. So that's that. Anyways, what I wanted to say is that I have been building this off camera, and well, it's just fun. It's not very ambitious or indestructible like my other projects, like digging these how's it called, these things. Usually that's what I usually do. It's more on a bigger scale, it's more impressive, it's harder to grieve, it will stay here, you know, that's usually what I do. But it's also exhausting and time consuming, and then you have to fight these animals, and yeah, that's why I decided to go a little bit more chill, to have a little bit more fun here and maybe be less productive, because that's what I crave right now. Anyways, so that's why I'm doing this thing, and that's why you didn't know that I'm doing this, because I was doing it off camera because I was so raging in the last stream, and I'm having way more fun now. Did I drop half of my cobblestone walls? Looks like. Okay, so let's continue with generic traits versus associative types. Oh my gosh. And I again have to tab out again. Can I... I mean, if I could do this, but then...
We want to actually implementing an iterator.
Then it closes my game, and then tabbing into the game is really annoying. If I go on full screen and then I do this, okay, then it stays open, but still my OBS is in front of my in front of what? In front of... Oh my gosh, I really need a chill place right now. In front of the video that I'm watching. Maybe I need another screen. Should I quickly install it? Who the fuck even how hit me here? Did you see that? What is this? Is it through this edge? Yeah, sure, boys. Should I install another screen just to please my OCD here? Okay. Let's see if I can quickly spin something up. I don't even know if I have space. And where do I put my microphone then? Well, let's see. Okay, so I will put it here for now. And do we have a screen? Yes. And then it needs electricity and HDMI. Can I even plug in a screen without rebooting my session or shit? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's really on the edge of my teeny tiny desk. Okay, but it is there. Let's see. Do we have power? What am I doing here even? What am I doing? So, where is my... Is it... Fuck's sake. Found one. And then I need a HDMI cable. If this won't work in the end because I have to restart my PC or something, then I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, do I even have a socket anywhere here? Well, I have one here. Is that long enough? Nah, fuck. Is it even a free spot? Like, how interesting is the stream right now? I'm having fun. Well, I could fit. Why is oh fucking trash? Nah, that's not gonna work out. Okay. No problem. No problem. Well, we have this baby here. Oh yeah. Okay. Alright. Wow. Okay, that was surprisingly convenient. Okay, we have power, I guess. Probably, yeah. Okay, so do we have an HDMI cable? So, and we'll plug this in here. Anybody who knows that this won't work anyways because I have to restart is giggling right now. Fuck you guys. You could tell me in chat. Okay, is this even a HDMI slot here? Okay, I plugged it in. Hey, it worked! Okay, so I have a third screen and definitely no space for my microphone. I can put it in front of one of the screens. That should be just fine, and now I can put my... It's actually nice to have 3 screens. I don't know why I never do it. Maybe because it eats more performance and reasons. And my full desk is there. Yeah, it's also intimidating. Whatever. Okay, so now I can open my inventory, and I'm not in full screen with no. Oh, I arranged my desks wrong. Can I change that? Settings. Yes. Timing based though. The displays. So we have this is this number 2? No, it's number 1, right? So if I put number 1 on the left, no. Oh, and maybe you have to press apply or something like that. Apply. No. What? Keep changes. Okay, cool. Ah, no, all good. With the auto clicker. Okay. I only know one dupe. Okay. That's actually nice. I'm actually enjoying my current setup. I wonder... you have it a little bit chopped off on the bottom, right? You have this black border now, but that's totally worth it because now I can open my inventory and go with the mouse on a different screen, and then I can quickly jump into the game again. And this really allows me to do stuff. Okay, so Right. Do we have even a good title so that people... What's a Minecraft Anarchy, Crust of Rust Iterators? What does the Beschreibung, description even say? lgl.selenium.com. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so... cool. I hope we can get some players. Even though I said, yes, there are not directly players needed. Because I still... Oh, well, I'm probably not... I should... Oh my gosh, my frames. How much? Oh, 60 FPS. It claims to be not worse, but it is. It feels different. Maybe it's also the not full screen thing. Oh, I think it's actually that one. Okay, but now I can press F11 quickly, then open my inventory, and then, yeah, that's yeah, no. It's a little bit weird that I see it on my second. Wait, I have to press 2 buttons and I can put a little bit more there. Is it better? I can make it a little bit smaller. I don't know. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, let's keep. Okay, well, maybe I can quickly mention why I said we don't need too many players. The reason is, like, I've been monitoring the server like almost daily. Oh, the guy's back again. And it didn't crash since I was streaming the last time. So that's crazy, and I thought maybe all fine and shit. And I think the reason is just that there were no players playing, but there were players playing, but maybe not enough players to crash it or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so the server crashed yesterday night. Something I forgot. Like after I was streaming again, after I was advertising again stronger and shit like that, and I think the player count didn't increase too much, but maybe at some point, yeah, I feel like it correlates. And I'm still working on a auto restart for when the server crashes, and until then, it's kind of inconvenient for me if I have to restart the server. And yeah, I'm on it. I actually, while I was on it right now, I decided to play the game instead of fixing it because I wanted to test restarting and shit, and then players were online, so I cannot restart while players are online. So I decided to idle here until everyone leaves, but that didn't happen, so well, that's how we got here. Anyways, maybe I will stream until anyone leaves. Yeah. What's this? It's a trap. Yeah, so that's that. Anything left to say? Yeah, please do join. Like, if you generally enjoy, like, this server is some long time shit that I'm pulling off here. And I don't need any motivation for it because I paid multiple years in advance, and I've kept empty game servers up and running for years. So that's a thing I do. So if you want to build something here and you want no world resets and you want a long time pure vanilla server, then this is something like in the long term you will be fine here. Maybe in the short time, like maybe in the next few, I don't know how long it will take for me to fix this. Years, in the worst. We might have crashes and the server don't start manually, so I have to check it daily, and then you have at maximum maybe a 1 day downtime if I'm like, I don't know, if I passed out for multiple days, then you maybe have multiple days downtime. But at some point I will fix it that the server even keeps running if I die or something like that. Anyways, so Cool. That's that. So please come and join. And yeah. Yeah, but I will proudly announce if I finally fixed it. Well, you see, I don't go in too much detail here because I really don't want to share the details because why the server is not restarting, because they are not too nice. But well, I'm on it. Okay. Cool. That was like the opposite of advertising, but whatever. Let me try to passively learn some Rust. I don't know if it's a good combination. Did someone break it? No, it's here. So I don't know if it's a good combination to... Why do people chat with me? You might want to help you, like... Ah! Yeah, that kind of help. Okay. I keep saying trap. What does he want? Well, building this for any person, or like wanting anyone to fail here and rage and see the response is just delusional. So the reason, or the person that I'm building this for is actually myself, so that I enjoy the building process instead of hoping anyone to fail in here, because chances are that someone will just TNT blow this up anyways without walking into it, and well, obviously I won't be there to see it, or I myself with a flying machine will blow it up. So that's that. So let me quickly think before I start the people in chat can really fuck me up. Maybe I have to plan this thing out, because if I want to focus on Rust a bit, well, I went through the hassle of installing a third screen so I can see it in full screen, and I can quickly pause and play, and I can monitor the shit. I should maybe set it up in a way that I can focus on Rust, and well, maybe I do too much of a cognitive task here to plan a trap that it's not well vibing with such a rusty video. But let's see. So can I quickly plan out that I don't have to use my brain later on? No, I can't. So I will just stumble around maybe in Minecraft into random shit, or I don't listen to the video. We'll see. Okay, cool.
Why do some types of iter and other...
I think I found the reason. No, I don't get it. If I mute myself...
use into iter.
Today you hear the desktop. Whatever, I don't know.
I don't think there's a good reason to have an iter method. If you have a slice, you may have seen that if I have an...
Oh, by the way, my initial plan was to remove all these here and remove these here, and then to push out a block that it pushes you to one of these sides. But since you get squeezed down, that doesn't work anymore. So that's too bad. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I had a plan. I wanted to... Let me quickly do that before... I wanted to... How are these built again? To put in a thing, a how are these called? Dispenser to then. But if it only dispenses once, do I have a bow? Then that doesn't help me, right? I need something, well, either something that activates a thing that constantly shoots them, or I need something like lava bucket. Well, I could dispense a lava bucket. That would motivate people to walk away from the platform. Yeah, that could work. Okay, let's go for that. Okay, so let's press this button, then press this button. Let's go.
Comma B. Well, it's a bad example, but I can call .iter, and it gives me an iterator over the elements of the slice. So you might wonder, well, why doesn't slice just implement into iterator? And the answer is it does. Usually these methods are unnecessary. But they're shorter to type if they happen to come up very often.
I really need more space in my
they
inventory.
also let you, they mean that you don't have to conform exactly to the method signature that the iterator trait requires, which in some cases make lifetime reasoning easier. Couldn't hashmap also have separate iterators for just keys or just values? It could, and it does, right? Like it has a hashmap, for example, has inherent methods. So those are methods implemented directly on the type rather than through a trait. For the one called .keys and one called .values. But hashmap itself does not implement iterator. It implements into iterator. And if you have a hashmap and you say, give me an iterator over it, there's only really one answer. Because it doesn't take any other arguments, right? If we're using a for loop, we don't need to explicitly call .iter. That is correct. Although, keep in mind that if I have these as a vec of 1, 2, 3, there's a big difference between this and this.
Why do I take so much damage?
Right? This one consumes VS and gives you owned access to V. This one borrows VS and gives you references to the V's. Now, if you don't want to write the iter, what you can also do is this. This is equivalent to vs.iter. These are the same. And this is because into iter is implemented for reference to slice and vector. Why does range inclusive? That seems separate. Great. Increase font size. Yes, I can. There we go. That's real big. Yeah, so I don't, so someone pointed out that it's strange that the consuming iterator is the implicit default. I don't think that's strange. You said iterate over this thing, and that's what it's doing. It's iterating over the vector. If you want to iterate over a borrow of the vector, you have to explicitly say that you want to iterate over the borrow of the vector. This is sort of there's sort of a general idea in Rust of like being explicit is good, and here's an example of that. Like it's not going to auto borrow unless you tell it to. Great. All right. So now let's get to what I was planning to do today, which is you may have noticed that there are a bunch of other methods on iterator, and these you can tell from the little bit at the end here have default implementations. That is, the standard library, or the thing that defines this trait, which in this case is the standard library, has default implementations on these that just use this type and this method. So for example, the default implementation of count just calls next until it returns none and keeps a track of how many times it got a sum, and that is the value. Of course, for some iterators, you can imagine a much more efficient implementation of count, right? So the implementation of iterator count for a vector can just, like the vector knows its length, so it can just return that rather than iterate over all the things. And this is why these have default implementations, because there are same defaults for them, but you want them to be able to be overwritten for particular implementations of iterator. And there are a lot of really cool things here, but the one I particularly want to look at today is flatten. So what flatten does, which we can see from the method signature too, is it takes an iterator, right? So this is a method on the iterator trait, so by default self must be something that is an iterator. And it's only defined where self item implements into iterator, right? And then what flatten actually does is it walks the elements of the outer iterator, and for each item is expected to itself be able to be turned into an iterator, and then it walks all the inner things before returning to the next outer thing. A diagram might be useful here, so let's actually draw a little. Let's do something like this color. So conceptually imagine our iterator as some like endless thing of items, right? So this is going to be our outer. And then we're going to have an inner,
craft this shit again?
Which is when the outer iterator is about to yield its first item. Instead of yielding this item, what it's going to do is it's going to call into iter on that item, which again gives us another iterator. We don't necessarily know how long it is, it's just some other iterator. And then the first call to next is going to return this item. The second call to next is going to return this item, all the way until this iterator ends. So these are all going to be returned. And then when the inner iterator...
I'm just thinking about what if... Oh no. What if I... well, I mean, because if you see something like that, you're... Oh no, I'm not going to go there. That's obviously a trap. But if I combine the two, let's say I make the dispenser from the top. I'm going like this, and then I make the piston here. So if the piston, yes, so the piston opens here, so that the dispenser can shoot through, but you can't see it. Oh, I'm so 5-head right now. And yeah, that's basically it. Wait, let me quickly build that. So, and it has to be activated already. Sober. My inventory is so full. That's actually annoying. Let me quickly clean up my inventory. I can, for example, put in, well, dirt I will keep, but like also cobblestone wall. Yeah. And I do need all these redstone things if I want to go redstone. And yes, I know this is the third crafting table I crafted. And yes, I know a creeper exploded and that's bad. Did it? Oh, sure it fucked my chest. Where's my chest? Come on. Yeah, Okay. So where do I get stone from? I don't know. Let's just play the video. F11 press
has been exhausted. What we're going to do is at that point, we're going to move, oops, go back there. We're going to only then move on to the next outer item. Then we're going to call into iterator on that, and then we're going to iterate through the things inside here, and then so on. So it flattens a nested iterator type. Right? So imagine, for example, that you have a vector of vectors. Flatten would iterate over all of the items of the inner vectors in order. Does that roughly make sense? Just let's make sure that we're on the same page. Okay, so that seems to roughly make sense. Great. So flatten is a fairly straightforward in terms of how you use it. But let's try to actually implement flatten. So let's have a library that has a pubfn flatten, and it takes an iterator. Does it flatten infinitely? Well, it keeps taking as long as there are iterator items left. Right? The moment it has consumed the entire outer iterator, then there's no more items to yield. But it keeps taking until the none of the iterators in the type you're iterating over yield any more items. Do these nested iterators need to have the same item type? Yes. So, I mean, this is already a requirement of iterator. That think of it this way. If all of the blue things have the same type, then calling into iter on each of them must also, by necessity, give the same type. And so we don't actually have to explicitly say this. This is just implied. It does not. It only recurses one level. So this is not recursive all the way down. It's not turtles all the way down, right? It only recurses one level. So it's not recursive.
Is it like this or is it the other way around?
Okay, great. So let's look at what the interface to this looks like. We're going to start with having this just be a freestanding function, and then we might see if we can do better than that after a while. So we take an iterator, and it's going to be of some generic type I.
Sure, I put my fences out of my inventory
it's
now.
going to return some type flatten that obviously needs to include that I. And this is probably just going to be like flatten new iter. Great. So we don't have a flatten, that's fine. We're going to define a flatten. It takes an I. And let's start with something that just holds the outer iterator. Let's call it outer. Right? And we're going to do info I, flatten I, fnu, iter, I. This is standard like setup stuff, right? Great. And this has to be generic over the iterator type. Okay, seems fine enough. We now have a type, and now we want to implement iterator for flatten, right? And we need to define then the item, and we need to implement next. Those are sort of the two primary requirements for us to do in order to implement iterator. So what do we set item to here? Well, we don't actually know what the item is here, right? We could do I item, but that's not really the type we're going to be yielding, because we're going to be yielding the type of the inner iterator, where I here is the outer iterator. So let's go ahead and actually do that straight away. We're going to make this O to indicate that it's the outer iterator, just for our own sanity. And then this makes a lot more sense, right? Like, it's not the outer item we're going to yield. So clearly something more is needed here. Well, we know that we're going to need to have at least some bound that says where the outer thing implements iterator. Right? If the outer thing isn't iterable, then we're not going to get anywhere. I guess let's make this none. Okay, so that compiles, but again, as we said, this is not right. What we really want to say here is like this, right? Like we want the item of the item. But Rust is like, I don't know what you mean here. Like, what is this associated type? Well, we can do a little bit better. So what we want to do is we want to define additional trait bounds here. We want to say that O item also needs to implement into iterator, right? And then we want to say that the return type here is going to be the O item as into iterator item.
Fuck.
Does this syntax make sense? Right? So here we're saying the outer thing is an iterator, and the items of that iterator. So this could also have been written as O as iterator, but Rust is helpful enough that it lets us omit this when O is only when there's only one trait bound of O that gives an associated type with this name. Then we don't need to give this name explicitly. So we want the outer thing to be an iterator, and we want the items of that outer type to implement into iterator, so that we can then later iterate over them. All right.
What is going on with this dude?
Yet, but does this part make sense? Why is O item as into iterator? Yeah, so this is sort of the same question, right? If we could admit O as iterator here, why can't we do the same here? It's a good question. Let's see what cargo check says. Let's do beta here.
Oh, fuck.
Do.
Okay, I'm full anyways. Yeah, okay, fuck to do it. Let's
I
get
don't know
one
why it
stack
thinks
more.
that's ambiguous. I think this is a parsing ambiguity. It doesn't know whether this is, well, unclear. It could be a parsing ambiguity. I think in general, like this could be a path, for example. Might get confused about that. I'm not sure. It's certain as long as it's parsed as a sort of nested associated types, then it's not ambiguous. So I don't think this is technically
That's
ambiguous,
close.
but it seems fine.
Boy. Oh, diamonds.
Could you add another generic type with bounds? Yeah, so you could flatten this
Okay.
at third level if you want.
At least one
right?
machine
You could say,
survived.
and then I want
Not bad.
O item as into iterator item to implement into iterator if you wanted like a 3-level deep flatten. But notice that this would only work for things that are in fact 3 levels deep. This would not work for things that are 2 levels deep because this last bound would no longer be true. But let's stick to just 2 levels for now. Oh yeah, we might be able to do this to see. No, apparently it doesn't like that. That's fine. Great. So now let's try to actually write next. Okay, so we could do self.outer.next, right? That seems like the obvious thing. But then it tells us this is wrong, right? Because the type of this is O item, the item of O. Whereas what we promised was that we would give the item of the iterator of the item of O.
What the
Right?
fuck is he even talking
And maybe this
about?
is going to be clearer in a terminal, right? It expected to get like this sort of nested type, and instead it just found O item, O is iterator item, because we haven't nested at all. So what do? Well, we could do like map and like inner dot. I guess this would have to be an and then. inner next. Well, that doesn't work because it's an into iterator, not an iterator, so it doesn't have a next. So into iter. Great. Okay, so this compiles. And obviously there's nothing wrong with this code. You could write a macro that generates an implementation for an arbitrary level, probably as a proc macro. Oh yeah, you can flatten recursively yourself. As in, like, you can invoke flatten multiple times. Flat map is a good way to do this, actually. Okay, so let's now that we're totally done, let's do tests. Use super. Then we're gonna have a test. Well, let's do first empty. So what's this going to do? Well, this is going to do a flatten of iter empty. And we want to assert that that count is 0.
I have even a silk touch pickaxe, don't I? I could also...
And I guess we're going to have to say what type we're iterating over, because it can't infer it because we haven't given it any values. So this is actually kind of interesting. So empty returns you an iterator that yields no items. Because there are no items, the compiler needs us to tell it what the iterator item type is. I tried to use just unit here, like the empty tuple, but then it says, oh, that won't work. Because flatten, it's easier here. Oh, test. The method count exists, but the following trait bounds are not satisfied. Unit does not implement into iterator, which is required by flatten in order for it to implement iterator. Right? So it's actually telling us pretty nicely here exactly what's going on. You can't use flatten as an iterator unless the item type, which here is unit, implements into iterator. Since this is empty, though, we can just tell it that it's some other type that is totally iterable, like this.
Sounds like a hack to me.
Okay, see if that works. Great. An empty iterator works correctly. All right. Now let's see if it works if we have just one item. So this is going to be, it yields only one item, and that one item is going to be, let's say, a vector of 0. Right? So that failed, and it failed because it got a 1 when it expected a 0. Because there is one item here, right? If you go all the way down, you will get this 0. Let's make it not 0, let's make it A, right? A it should be counted, so the count here should be 1. Let's see if that is in fact the case. That is in fact the case. All right, so now, let's go even weirder. Let's try to make this, let's try to iterate over more items. Let's do B as well and see if the count is 2. What? The count is only 1. Okay, so this clearly implies that our iterator sort of works, but it only works for the first item, which is clearly pretty useless.
Oh, come
So
on, these creepers,
maybe we sort of got it right. Like, let's see what happens if we try something else. Let's see if we try a vector of vectors where they're in different vectors. And I guess here actually we're gonna have to do into iter here for relatively uninteresting reasons.
Yeah, that's
see what this
annoying
does.
now.
Ooh.
Maybe I should just go away and do
this
something
does
else
this, yes.
while it's night.
And try to make these with semicolons. And so this is sort of a two-wide. So here there is the outer iterator has one element, and the inner iterator, the first inner iterator, has 2 elements. Here the outer iterator has 2 elements, and both of the inner iterators have 1 element each. Let's see. Okay, so that worked, right? So clearly, it is walking over the outer iterator, but it's only returning the first thing from each inner iterator, right? And we can test this with something that's wide as well, right? So another way for us to get empty is to have this be just a ton of empty things, right? If you flatten this iterator, I guess fine. We need to actually tell it what type it is. Like so. So this, when you flatten this type, that still has no elements in it, right? The outer iterator has 3 items, but each of those items, iterators, have 0 items. So if you count them, there are 0 items. Now let's see that that in fact works out too. It does. Okay, so the only problem here seems to be if any of the iterators have more than 1 item. Right? It works fine if they're empty. It works fine if they have 1 item. It does not work fine if one outer iterator element has multiple inner items. So let's look at our implementation, why that might be. Actually, let's see if there are questions first. Yeah, so we could also do standard iterator empty whose type is an empty iterator. But we want the test to be easy to read where we can. Okay, so let's try to see what's actually going on here. Maybe this is going to be clearer if we use question mark. So question mark also works for options. So we can do this. Actually, let's, I guess, inner. This is equivalent to the code we wrote before. Inner it. Well, I guess inner item, inner it, and then we want inner it next. Should be item. And I guess if we're going to be really explicit about it, we do this. Now that the code is written out this way, it might become a little bit more obvious what the problem is. So we call next on the outer iterator. And that is the first thing we do anytime someone calls next. This means that every time next is called, we're going to be moving the outer iterator along. And when we get the inner iterator, right, so here we take the item that was yielded by the outer iterator, the sort of green long iterator, and we call next on it, but then we just drop it, and we never get to touch that again. But in reality, this inner iterator might have more items to yield, beyond just the very first one. So what do we do with this? Like, where do we stick this inner iterator? Because we're going to have to stick it somewhere so that we can continue to call it. Well, we have a struct. So how about we do inner, and what type do we give this? Well, O item. But that means we here need to say where O is iterator. And that means we need to say where O is iterator.
I really need to find a way to quickly kill
And
those
that means
withers.
we here need to say where I is iterator. Now, this particular problem of like the bounds propagating all the way up is something that will get fixed a little bit by something called implied bounds, where if you have a bound that's on the struct, you don't need to name it again for any implementation. That is not currently the case, but that will help. And so when someone creates a new iterator, what do we do? Like, what do we set inner to here? we don't have an inner iterator. So what we actually do here is this probably just needs to be an option, because we may not have one yet, right? And so now let's look at what we need to do for next. What we want to do is, if there is an inner iterator that we're still working on, then we want to give items from that. It's only if the inner iterator has been exhausted that we want to move out to the next outer element. So if let sum inner, let's do iter to make it really clear. So if there's an inner iterator, and if the inner iterator,
Oh my gosh, I'm going to die.
when we call next on it, gives us an item, then we want to return that item. If it doesn't, right, that means we've exhausted the inner iterator, and self.inner can be set to none. Right, all right. So why is this a problem? Well, the item type, as we see, does not actually implement iterator. It implements into iterator. So we can't call next on it, because we can only call next on it when it has become an iterator. The example here would be the vector type, right? So the way this is currently written, inner would be an option vector. But you can't call next on a vector, right? The iterator implementation for a vector has some additional information, like where in the vector am I currently? If we just here stored option vector, then we wouldn't have that information and we wouldn't be able to call next. So really, what this needs to be is item as into iterator, into iter, which is the iterator type of that item. And now we get through the same thing again, where we actually need to now require that the inner thing is also an iterator. You can see this gets a little bit unreadable because we need to navigate our way down to exactly the type that we need to store. And then, of course, the trait bounds propagate up in the same way. And now we can say, I want to call next on it. Okay, we haven't finished fixing next, but let's see if there are questions there. This is fairly involved what we went through just now. Yeah, the syntax here gets pretty gnarly, but it's because we're trying to name a type that's pretty deep, right? There's not that much extraneous syntax here, right? It's saying item as an iterator, or if we look at the bound up here, right? The contents of this is not actually that complicated. And the syntax isn't that complicated either. It's more that the bound needs to be there, because it really is a restriction of our implementation. And so it needs to be written somewhere in some form. And I don't think this form is particularly bad. This form is a little bad. But again, there's not that much sort of extraneous information here. All right, so let's finish fixing our next. So if there's an inner iterator, then we're just done. Like, there's nothing more for us to do. Well, we call next on it, and if it gives us a thing, then we're done. However, if there's not an inner iterator, or if we exhausted the iterator just now, then what do we do? Well, then we just want to get the next outer iterator item, right? So we can do this, right? So this is give me the next item from the outer thing. Question mark means if there are no more items yielded by the outer iterator, then just return. Otherwise, give me the item that was returned, and then turn that into an iterator. And this is going to be the next inner iterator. So now we need to store that somewhere, right? So we can do self.inner equals sum of next iterator. Great, but we then still need to actually get that item. So we could do self.inner as mute unwrap next, right? But that doesn't quite work either, because this might exhaust the iterator itself. Like the inner iterator might be empty. So really the thing we're going to do here is basically sort of do a loop where we're going to end up recursing. And to see why this works, once we set the inner iterator here, we're going to loop back around, it's going to be set to sum, or we're going to do the right thing. And then ultimately, either we're going to return sum from some inner iterator, or we're going to return early with a none here when the outer iterator has been exhausted. All right, does this make sense for now? Do you normally include bounds in the struct definition as well, or just the impl block? I usually include them just on the impl block when I can get away with it. Here's an example where we can't, because the struct actually needs to talk about the nested associated types. All right, so let's see if this actually compiles and runs. It does. Okay, so now the tests actually work. Great. We successfully implemented flatten. And like, there's a little bit of syntax pain here, but it's not that bad. So let's look at some ways in which we can prove this. One obvious first fix is that we had to call into iterator whenever we called flatten on something that isn't already an iterator. And that's kind of unnecessary. Like, we'd like to be able to get rid of these into iterator calls. And we can do that already with the into iterator trait. If we just do this, then now you can give flatten anything that can be turned into an iterator, and it will call into iterator for you, and then flatten only has to think about iterator types. Would while let sum inner equals self inner here? So the proposal is we do while let sum inner is self inner instead. That doesn't quite work, because think of the first time next is called. We need to make sure that we execute this code. Does that work? Okay, so we fixed that sort of annoying. Just usability problem. But now let's look at some weirder parts of iterators. So if we go to the flatten from the standard library, you'll notice that it implements a bunch of other things. Here, we can implement clone and debug, but those aren't that interesting for these purposes. But it also implements some other weird things. Most notably, it implements this double-ended iterator trait. So what is double-ended iterator? Well, as the name implies, it's an iterator that you can iterate from either end. So if we look at the declaration of it, it requires that the underlying type is iterator. And then in addition to the methods from iterator, so namely the associated type item and the method next, there's also a next back, where next back gives you the last element from the iterator. So you can sort of walk the iterator from either side. This means that you can really efficiently walk it backwards, for example. Great. So let's see if we can implement double-ended iterator for flatten. In theory, it should be doable, right? Like if we think about this drawing again for a second, if the outer iterator lets us get to this item, then and that gives us some inner iterator, right? So if this is yielded, then that gives us some other iterator. And if that iterator also gives us the ability to look at its back, then it should be possible for us to implement next back too, just the same way as how we implemented next, by taking the first item of the first.
It's such a weird way to farm stone, isn't it?
We can
But
take
it's
the
effective.
last inner item of the last outer item. in order to implement next back.
Faster than duping.
Should be totally fine, right? So let's see what that might look like. So here, what do we want to do? Well, we want to implement double-ended iterator for flatten O. And we're going to need to have the same trait bounds that iterator has, right? Because these are just like fundamental to flatten. And then we're going to implement next back. And notice here that we can refer to self item here because, get rid of that, because double-ended iterator sort of extends the iterator trait. That is, a type can only implement double-ended iterator if it implements iterator, and since iterator has an associated type item, anything that, so self, which implements double-ended iterator, must also have that same associated type. Here too, we could say self as iterator item, but we don't need to. Basically, the compiler lets us omit that particular declaration if it's only one level deep.
How can we, is it like, I can activate it like this, can't I?
Great. So now, how do we implement next back?
But this
Well,
has to be,
we already talked about this, right? Isn't it sort of just the same? Right? Where it's the same thing it was did for iterator, except instead of calling next, we're going to call next back. Great.
yeah, I can't do that. Don't want to do that
Well,
either.
this doesn't quite work because next back, there's nothing that says that the inner iterators can be walked backwards. So we need to add those bounds too. So this needs to also implement double-ended iterator. And O item as into iterator.
Oh my gosh.
Its into iter needs to implement double-ended iterator.
How do we get here?
Right? So what we're saying here is the outer iterator needs to implement double-ended iterator. Iterator is becoming a hard word to say. And in addition, the inner item, the inner iterator, or the inner item when turned into an iterator, that iterator type, which is this associated type, needs to also implement double-ended iterator.
Go that
so that we can
far?
walk the inner things backwards as well. Notice that the into iterator is sort of complicating things here, right? Because it's not as though the things that the outer thing produces are iterators themselves. We have to go through this extra step of turning them into iterators in order for us to be able to talk about them. And so this associated type into iter is the name of the.
Oh no, this is not
the
going
type,
straight into
the
this.
iterator type for that item. So if the outer thing is an iterator whose items are vectors, then the into iter of vector is a vector iterator, which is its own type. And it's that type that we need to be double-ended iterator. I know that this is like, there's a lot of levels that are hard to follow. I recommend that after we finish, like, go back and look at the stream and try to actually write this out for yourself and see that this sequence of logic works out. We can luckily simplify this a little. So we can, for example, get rid of iterator there because double-ended iterator implies iterator. But that's most of what we can do.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so you can imagine that if we went 3 levels deep, this would get even more complicated, right? Because the bounds need to apply at every level. What's the difference between plus and comma in trait bounds? Comma is just, here's a new rule. So this is one bound, this is one bound.
No, it's working, isn't it?
Plus is saying both bounds must hold for the thing before the colon. So this is saying O is iterator and double-ended iterator, right? Whereas the comma here is saying this must be true and this must be true. All right, So let's see if this works, right? So what
How is
can
this
we
blocking?
do here? Well, let's try to reverse.
Does it really have to? Maybe I can do this.
Reverse that, and we're going to try to reverse
No.
wide. So AB, if we collect that, should give a vector of BA. If we reverse that as well.
Okay, that works. Don't ask me why.
And similarly here, if we reverse this, and rev is, in fact, we can look at this if you want, you'll see that
Wait, can I do
on
this?
iterator,
No.
where's my iterator? There's a reverse that is the reverse method, which only exists if the iterator itself implements double-ended iterator. And since flatten now does, we can call rev. So here we're reversing and then collecting into a vector so that it's easy for us to compare it with things. And here too, this should give B followed by A.
Okay, that's
So
very
that
late.
is great. Compiles,
Maybe we
the tests
can-
run, we must be done, right? All right, let me give you a more complicated test. And some of you may already have figured out what's wrong here. It's useful to actually walk through it step by step. Both ends. So here what we're going to do is we're going to try to flatten
What have I done?
this thing. All right, so what do we expect here? Well, we expect that if we take the first item,
Just realized something. You don't need a fucking dispenser to for the lava. Oh no. Okay, well, fuck. Yeah. Yeah, no. That's it.
then that should give us A, right? Because if we just flatten this thing in our minds, then the very first thing, so the leftmost thing, is an A. We expect that the thing from the back, so now it's the remainder is like B, C, D. If we now get from the back, what we expect to see is D. If we now get from the front, we expect the next thing would be B, and so on. And then once we've exhausted the iterator, we expect all of these to be none, right? After we've consumed A and D and B and C, then now there's nothing left. And so trying to take from the iterator.
I need something like knockback or instant damage. Well, if I open this wall, then I could push myself in there. I don't know. Fuck. Whoa! Boy! These make some damage. Okay. I'm dying if I go in back again, right? Boy, they make damage, man. Okay, that's fun. Maybe I should not put them in right now. Well, it doesn't push you down or something, but if you stay, you get damage. That's good already, isn't it? I could also make it that you constantly, like, it activates a clock, but I don't know how to activate the clock. Wait, can I just build a clock here, and if it goes into the clock is activated? Isn't it that easy? Wait, let me quickly check. So, well, you stand on the signal way too long though. Like if you run over it and then back, then you activate the clock. Otherwise, yeah. There are techniques where you can activate clocks. I don't want to research it right now, to be honest. So yeah, fuck that.
From either side should yield none. All right, so let's try that. Okay, that did not pass. Why did it not pass? So on line 126, so for this next back, we expected to get a D, and instead we got a B. So instead of getting a D here, we got a B. Why might that be?
Why might that
Let's see if we can shed some light on this by making this a little longer. Actually, let's do this like, this is going to be A1, A2, A3. This is going to be B1, B2, and B3. So now we expect this to give A1, this to give B3, this to give A2, this to give B2, this to give A3, this to give B1, and then none. And my prediction here is this is going to give us A3. Let's see if that's true. Yeah, so this gave us A3 instead of B3. So why is that? Well, what's happening here is the next is going to give us this item, and then for some reason next back gives us this item, not this item. How weird. Well, if you think about it, it's actually not that weird. Currently, we only have one
I don't know, somehow this guy is funny.
stores the inner iterator. So we can only keep track of one inner iterator at a time.
I don't need it here, right?
But in this example, when we call next back, what is the inner iterator? There's not just one, right? Because we're iterating over this thing because we called next. So we have a cursor that's like pointing here to A2. But when we call next back, what we want is a second cursor, right? That's going to point to B2 after consuming B3. So what this is telling us is that we actually need to have two cursors here, or two iterators, that we may currently be in the process of going through. So this is sort of going to be like a prefix iter, or if we will, a next iter, and then a back iter. And we're actually lucky here that this works out. We don't need to add double-ended iterator to flatten, right? Which would be inconvenient. It would be sad if you could only flatten things that were double-ended iterators. And the reason for that is because the inner iterator types are the same regardless of whether you go from the front to the back. The type is the same. Okay, so now next iter is going to start out none. Back iter is going to start out none. And our logic here needs to be a little more clever. What we want is if the next iter is sum, then we want to take the next thing from it. Iter is none.
Oh wait, I have a funny idea.
What about this case? So
if you get this hard damage, you don't die. I guess only if you're low health you die. But you might want to dig into this wall, then I'm fucked. You might want to dig into there. I could put lava above, so we do that. And you might want to dig into that wall. So I can install some TNT construction here that if you break this block, that it blows you up. And this will most likely fuck me up since I will probably accidentally break this block. But I think it is a funny idea to have this machine somewhat complete, that you are, if you walk into here, that you are, if you're not like insanely good equipped, actually fucked if you walk into here. So how I'm going to accomplish this is we put a torch in here, And this torch is maybe... Can you deactivate a torch by another torch, or I don't know. There are these torch chains. I want to have a tracker on both of them. No, it's fine. It's only the upper one that, because you cannot, yeah, you will break the upper one as well. So it's fine if it's only here. And then we're going like, so if this is activated, that means that, oh my gosh, that this is, no, that this is activated, right? But we wanted to flip it somehow. Can we go like this and bam, and then we put TNT above on here all the way down. Oh my goodness, should I put the TNT right now already? That's probably so stupid, and I will blow it up. And yeah, but whatever, it's fine if I blow myself up. Isn't it funny? It's good for clicks and shit, so let's do that. So I put one here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was faster than expected. I thought I will only do that down the road, and it doesn't feel like clicks, so that was just stupid. Ah! Fuck my life. Can I? No, of course I can. Because life hates me. Did I break something that I didn't mean to break? Over here? Probably. Most likely. Oh my goodness. Why? Okay, next time I'm going to use brain, okay? Next time I'm going to hold in for a second and think about what is going to happen probably if I place this block, and then everything will be fine. And then I close up this side of the thing, and then I don't open it up again, and everything should be golden. Okay, so. Wait, did it work? Did I not break? Ah, okay, I broke. No. Wait, did I not break anything at this side? I doubt it somehow, because there's this redstone flying around. So this is open. This is open. Now it's closed. And you hear the click sound, so this dispenser is also working. Well, I'm not gonna complain that it's not working. And yeah, I will keep the audio off. Oh my gosh, if a creeper explodes, it's night again. Maybe I should go farm some cobblestone again. Okay, let's do that.
Here, we have exhausted the, I guess this is maybe flipped from you. Now we've exhausted the iterator that we were at, and now we need to move to the next item. Well, if there's a next outer item, then great, we just give that next item. But what if, yeah, and we might need a drawing for this actually. So here's a weird case. What if, why can't I do that? That's kind of sad. Doesn't my thing to move work anymore? My button won't let me move. Well, maybe I can just do this. So here's what's going on. I'm going to draw this iterator in a slightly different way. And I realize I've flipped the colors. I'm sorry about that. Right, so this is really what's going on. We have the outer iterator, which points to, I guess let's make some lines here too. The outer iterator is, let's say, currently pointing here. right? And the outer iterator, because it implements double-ended iterator, actually points both there and here, right? And when we call next back, we can then set our previous iterator to be this type. And we can set our next iterator to be this type. That's all well and good. But now imagine what happens if our back iterator is still pointing at this item, right? This item has not been yielded yet. And then we just keep calling next. So the next iterator finishes looking at this item, right? And then the outer iterator is called again, so that yields this item. And then we start looking at this one, and then we finish that, and then we call next again, and we get this one. Now what happens if we call next again? Ideally, we should end up yielding this item, right? Because it hasn't been yielded yet. But if we call outer next will give us nothing. Because outer next has already yielded, like the outer iterator
oh my gosh,
has already
my health.
yielded all three items. It yielded this one, it yielded this one, and it yielded this one we initially called next back. So it's going to return none. And the next inner iterator is also none. There's nothing more for us to look at in here. And so somehow this means that when calling next, when the outer iterator has been exhausted, you need to start walking the back iterator from the front. So that's what we're going to do here, which is I guess this is going to be next inner.
You bitch, you are going to die. You popped my totem.
So if the outer thing does give us a next item, then we just then we do the same thing we did before. Right? We just set the sort of front iterator. Maybe we should call these front and back rather than next. Let's do front iter and back iter.
Ah, I'm digging into the wrong direction. I wanted to dig the 1000 by 1000, not
So
the
the
outer
outer iterator, if we're walking forward,
area, whatever.
and the outer iterator gives us another element, then we just set that to be the front iterator, and then we keep going. We just loop. But if the outer iterator stops iterating, it does not give us any more items. Then what we want to do is start looking at the back iterator. And if the back iterator is also none, then we can return none. So question mark is fine here. And then we're going to call next on that. So this way we're going to, if we get to sort of the end, right, where we've exhausted the outer iterator and there's only one iterator left, and that one inner iterator left, and that happens to be at the back, then we're now just going to be calling next on that. And then the same case is going to be true for the back iterator. So here, let me just reuse the implementation we just used. Except here, this is going to be looking at the back iterator instead of front iterator. And it's going to call next back rather than next, right? It's going to be next back inner, because it's going to look at the back of the outer iterator.
Oh my gosh.
And if we're walking backwards, and the outer iterator yields no more elements, then we need to walk the front iterator from the back.
Where am I even?
And so that's what this is going to be doing. And if the front iterator is empty, then of course we can just...
This direction? Doesn't look familiar.
And
no.
this up here, this needs to be as mute, because we don't want to move out of it. We just want to use it as a reference. All right, that was a lot. So let's do questions. Yeah, exactly. So someone observed correctly that the inner references were being reset in each direction, so it gets lost what the ends should be. And so that's what we did. Is there a way to implement it in such a way that you don't need to have to pay the cost of 2 cursors when the iterator is only used in one way? It's a good question. There is, but I'm not going to talk about it. I think. Basically the way, well, I'm not sure. I think you would need specialization for this trick to work. But the idea would be to add a second generic parameter to flatten that is either like some type that implements like walk back. And you could give a 0 size type to it that does not implement walk back in order if you wanted to use it without supporting double iteration. But you would need, I think, specialization to be able to implement iterator for it. Because when you have, as we observed here, right, like when you have a back iterator, it changes the forward iterator as well. And so you would need to have a different implementation of iterator depending on whether or not you had 2 cursors. Yeah, so this gets back to the question that was raised, why store back iterator for even for types that aren't double-ended iterator? And the answer is we don't have a way around it, right? The flattened struct, we don't have a way to say here, like, not if, like, config not if, implement, does not implement double-ended iterator. Like, that's not a construct that we have. Because it's not just a matter of like defining 2 different flattened structs, because then they would be different types. We don't really have a good way to say this. Keep in mind though that these will be allocated on the stack. So, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be, but these are likely to be cheap. Also, they're likely to be used as iterators and then dropped, as opposed to being kept around for a long time. Great, let's see. This whole process gives me major future vibes. Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit like futures in that like streams are iterators. And when you work with these nested iterators, it is very much like working with nested futures or nested streams. I don't think the compiler will optimize away the field. I don't think it can. Yeah, it probably can. Okay, so now that my brain no longer hurts, I can say that the 2 cursor problem is a lot easier to solve in Rust than Python. Okay, that's good to hear. I don't know why. Can you call next and next back concurrently? No. So the reason for this is because they both require exclusive access to self. Right? So mutable reference, otherwise known as an exclusive reference, you couldn't call next back and next concurrently. You could call one then the other in either order, but you can't have like 2 threads that both call it because neither of them would have an exclusive reference. And next, notably here, does not require double-ended iterator, right? There's nothing in this body that calls next back. It does have to access the back iterator, but that back iterator will always be empty if you never called next back. Why do you need to use ref mute? I probably don't. Yeah, okay, so the reason for this is that self.frontIter, its type is option of a thing, right? So if I do if let some t is self.frontIter, then t here is like if I used t, right? The type of t here is t, which is an owned t, right? It's not a reference to. And so this would mean that I have to move out of self.frontIter. But I only have a mutable reference to self, so I'm not allowed to consume this field and take ownership of t. And so I have 2 ways to get around this. I can even write as mute. So as mute goes from an option T to an option mute T. And now I could get rid of this and it would be fine. As mute, like this.
FK. Oh my gosh, these phantoms make this game so unpleasant to play, like any mobs. It's not exciting or fun to fight them, it's just annoying.
Because now the thing that I'm moving is a mutable reference as opposed to the T itself. I personally find it easier to write this. So this is saying, when you take the T, take it as a mutable reference.
Still, isn't it day at some point?
Yes. We talked about this at length in the previous Crust to Crust, so I recommend you give that a look. What if instead of live walking, you flatten the entire data into a flattened structure and then iterate over it from both ends? If you did that, you would have to allocate, right? So one thing you could do is in flatten, we just walk the entire...
Okay, now let's quickly try to use brain. I think last time I placed it here and then directly it... Yeah, because this one is powering this block and also the surrounding blocks. So maybe... Is it also powering until here? Can I quickly test that without blowing up everything? Like this? Or I could test it anywhere else, that's also an option. Like I go here, I have, it's something like this, isn't it? So, and yeah, sure, this one is powered. No, it's not. This one is though. Okay. Okay. So that means... The heck, man. That means that this one is safe. Which also means this one is safe. And this one is safe, this one, something like that. And that might already be enough to be annoying if you stand over here and you remove this block, then this pops, then this gets activated. This might be enough TNT already to, yeah, to make your life harder over there. Let's go for sure. Please don't blow up, please don't blow up. Okay, that might be for real be enough TNT to kill you, or at least blow away this block and the block below, and then I can dig away those that you fall down and then you get fall damage and shit. So I'm quite happy with the current design. Let's see if I don't mess it up.
Iterator and collect everything into a vector. But that means you have to allocate all of that stuff. This flatten will work even if this iterator is infinite, because it only consumes element while you're calling next. Right? So imagine, in fact, I can give you an example of this. Inf. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an iterator that is infinite. So 0 dot dot will continue yielding iterators forever. And not only that, but the items of that iterator are also themselves going to be infinite. And this will
fuck, I
still
can't
work.
put lava above here, right?
In fact, this would be a super.
Shit, wait a second. If I restructure this, yes, I can restructure, haha, so that it comes from the side, then I can put some lava on top. Yes, baby! What was the sound? Please don't mind it. I'm streaming for way too long already. But let's see. Okay, so maybe we should put in some glass so that I see it next time I want to remove blocks that there's lava. Yes. Right. Cool.
For unhelpful iterator. Like, there's no reason to flatten this because this is infinite. So let's make this like 1 to I. So the inner one is not infinite. That's fine. But you couldn't flatten this into a vector because this is an infinite list. So what is this going to yield? Well, this is going to yield. So the first outer item is going to be a map of. Is going to be this. The second outer item, which is empty. I think. Okay, let's make this 0. So the.
Okay, so let's think about it. If I walk, well, you can place blocks. Oh no! If you just place blocks here, you can walk back. Oh no! Oh no! So I might need observers. Yeah, so I just had an idea, because if you put observers here, they get activated as soon as the piston gets moved out, so I can't do something crazy or blow up shit if you just touch this thing. Yeah, but if I remove these blocks and put observers deeper in there, for example, make these observers that face upwards, they don't get triggered right now, but if you place blocks, then you walk on these blocks, then these blocks get pushed in, trigger the observer, and then you're fucked. Oh my gosh, I'm getting mastermindy here. What am I even doing? It's fun. I have to say it's fun.
First inner item is going to be the range.
I should really do a world save or something that I can maybe. But for what even? Like, for what? Yeah, maybe that I can, if I blow it up accidentally in single player, see how it works. Nah, I'm too lazy to do it right now, but yeah.
0 to 0, which is empty.
Oh no!
The inner list is going to be 0 to 1, which only holds 1. So the first thing we expect to get.
I was just talking about, like, Jesus. What even happened? How? How did it blow up? Oh no! Oh, come on. My shulker babies. No, did I lose my sponges? I had like 2 yellow ones and 2, or did I not place them? Oh, that's so frustrating. What happened? Was it a creeper? What? I was about to mastermind. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, come on. How did it explode? I don't get it. It just started. Was there even a creeper? Like, I mean, I was on the spot. How would a creeper even... Should I restart from scratch? Should I? I probably shouldn't, but let's go.
That is one. The next...
Or maybe not from
so
scratch and rather repair it.
So
That
now we go
might
to
be
the next
easier.
outer item, which is going to be...
Is it though?
So...
Let's see. How much is left from this side?
The next
Yeah, we
outer
can
is
start
gonna
from
be
scratch.
2, which is an inner iterator, 0 to 2, which gives us 0 and 1. So next should give 0, next should give 1. Just see that sanity check my solution there. Probably wrong. Right. 0, 0, 1. Great. And you could keep calling next to this for as long as you want, and flatten will still work. And notice we did not have to allocate an infinite amount of time, which it was required to actually flatten it eagerly. So it's someone pointed out the stream and chat are 5 minutes out of date. They're not actually. It's just that I'm still catching up with old chat. Ref mute is inferred by the compiler in many patterns now, not all. This is an example where it's not. Yeah, so in fact, there's a different way. The compiler can actually infer this in many cases. So one way you can do this is when you have a
Was
pattern,
it getting dark?
what the compiler is smart enough to do is it will...
I think I'll rage quit now. Let me see how the stream is doing. We have no viewers, so that's fine. Cool. Yo, who did it can hide it under pressure. That works too. Oh, yo, there were people writing messages in chat, and I didn't really read. What's good? Fuck you, bitch. So there were actually the guy from in-game was in stream chat. Okay, right. Yeah, whatever. I think. Oh, and Typixel as well. So the two guys that were in-game were also in stream chat. I don't know how they found out. Anyways, so I guess that's it. I blew up my whole shit. That's super sad. Yikes. That's a little bit demotivating, but it was a fun stream, and it wasn't meant to like persist forever and that it works on someone else. It was to be expected that I blow up myself, but it was unexpected early, and I wish I had made a download so I could, well, maybe in single player, test how you could try to escape and then fail. Or maybe I don't end the stream and there's still so much left of the video and I dig down here. Well, maybe I don't end the stream yet.
It will.
Okay, let's do this.
It will mutably borrow if the thing you're matching on.
I will speed build it now. You will be astonished. I will redo what I've done in in 2 hours in like 20 minutes. You will see. You will see. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's that.
I still prefer RefMute myself, but this is equivalent. Next back makes
You
no
will be
sense.
impressed.
Yeah, so you couldn't call next back for this infinite iterator. If you tried, the compiler would tell you that next back is not found because this infinite iterator is not double-ended.
You will be impressed, my man. Oh, fucking phantoms.
Does this code work for arbitrarily nested iterators? No. If you wanted for a third level, then you would need a front iter, a front back iter, a back front iter, and a back back iter. Because you need to keep track of, you're essentially keeping track of a tree of cursors that you're walking. So this is why it gets pretty complicated to make this sort of generic over the number of levels. I don't know of a way to do that. You could probably have a macro that generates it for you. The way you would probably do this in practice is if you wanted to flatten further levels, you like basically do some kind of collection. But you can flatten a flattened iterator, right? Like there's nothing stopping you from writing like a, let's do like deep. So this is going to be a...
Should I start with observers here?
I guess a vector of vector of vector of 0. And I want the count.
Can I
want the count of that to be 1.
Wait, let me think a second. So if I put a observer up facing here, up facing, then I need all these wires here, or oh, I can put it below, right? That works. Yes, so I can do something like this, and yeah, it will work.
Well, I want the count of this to be 2.
And that's too low
so
anyways,
I don't
isn't it?
want to count these. I want to count these. That's what a 3-level
Girl.
heap would look like. And in practice,
Don't you
the way this
fuck
would
with
work
me.
out is you would flatten the flatten.
Oh wait,
I think
is it
this should work.
not far enough? Was it like, how much space did I have?
Right, so this iterator, this is going to be an iterator that yields these. And then you flatten that, and that's going to be an iterator that yields these. Yep, so you can flatten that. Could you nest calls of flatten if it detects more than 2 levels? No, so keep in mind, there's none of this happens at runtime. Flatten is a compile time construct where you need to give it a type at compile time. It's not like it will just like, there's no way for it to check at runtime how deep the iterator is. This is only written for a 2-level deep iterator. You could write you couldn't even write a macro to do this, I think, because you need to know the type. You might be able to do this with some like really fancy type level magic, but you wouldn't generally want to do that. Yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to mention briefly is the standard library also has a method called flatMap. And flatMap is basically a map over...
Oh, that's way too big now,
It's
or
not terribly
whatever.
interesting, but it maps over the outer iterator, not the inner iterator.
Should I fix my
So
roof
rather than look
first?
like
Oh,
this,
come on.
It takes an f whose, let's see if I can, yeah, so it's going to require, like, actually, so it takes an f, where f is a function from O item to I, where I is the inner iterator, and where the inner thing implements into iterator. So this is what flat map looks like. So it maps over the outer iterator, and the closure that gets given the outer iterator needs to produce iterators itself. Which is it's an interesting case study. If you want to try to like see that you actually understood this, try to implement flat map. And then the last thing, we have like 10 more minutes or so, is it's sort of annoying for flatten to be a freestanding function. Ideally, what we want is if you have an iterator, you can just call .flatten. Of course, you can already do this because flatten is a method on iterator, but imagine that iterator did not have a flatten method, and we wanted people to easily be able to use that. What we can do is we can actually use something called an extension trait. So extension traits are not special. They're more of like an idiomatic pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare some new trait, iterator x for extension, and it is only going to be implemented on iterators. And it's only going to have one method, and that's going to be flatten. It's going to take self, and it's going to return flatten self. There's a lot of flatten in this. That in turn is going to call the top level flatten function with self. And it's going to require that self item implements into iterator.
Okay.
In fact, this is a fun error message to look at. I'm going to get to that in a second. What this lets you do is if someone uses this trait, then and they have an iterator, actually let's do impl. We do a blanket implementation of this for all t. Iterator x for t, where t implements iterator. I'm just writing it out and then I'll explain. So what we're saying here is any type that implements iterator has this iterator extension trait implemented for it, and the way you do it is by flattening the iterator itself. And the idea here is that instead of having to call flatten, you can do, let's give it a different name so we don't end up conflicting with the outer one. So our flatten is that you can now do, instead of this sort of flatten business, you can just do dot our flatten.
Okay, so now if these pistons get activated.
And the reason is here we require that self is sized. This is a little complicated to explain why we require that. It says the size for values of type self cannot be known at compilation time. But basically, when you have a flatten, it takes a value of type O, a type of type O, a type O. Takes a type O, and it stores that O in the struct. The only way you can do that is if it knows how large O is. If O here was like, what's a good example? If O here was the name of a trait,
is it not working like that?
does not have a size, and so it couldn't store
Is it the other way
here
around?
This variable, it wouldn't know what size it has. And so O clearly has to be sized. Size is the trait that Rust uses to express that a type has some known size. And because you can only construct a flatten if O is sized, this complains here that the size of type self cannot be known to compile time. Self is not sized. Because we've said here that we implement this for any iterator, including maybe if that type is not sized. Any type. So we can just say where self is sized, and that takes care of that. And I won't go too much into the details of why this is necessary. Let's see if that works. Self is sized. Ooh.
Why does it not work still?
Right, and this is implemented for anything that implements iterator, not anything that implements into iterator. And so, in order to use the extension trait, you need to already have an into iterator.
Oh, it's really short. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, so
I can blow up
TNT.
TNT.
It should make sense that we're defining a trait that only has the method we want to add.
Oh my gosh. I really have to do something against these creepers. But what?
And then we provide that general implementation, that blanket implementation for any T that meets our bounds. Alright, I think that's all I wanted to cover for flatten. Let's do questions before we end though.
What do I do? Okay, I need the same on this side.
You could then implement flatten as outer, flat map inner. Yes, that's correct. Why not implement the monad laws? That seems outside the scope of this particular stream. The size bounds is required because both because you take self here and because you name the self type. Why do I sometimes see a question mark size? So by default, any generic type must be sized because you might store it. But imagine that you store something like a box O. It turns out here the compiler can store things that it doesn't even know the size of. And you can say that for this, you can sort of opt out of the implicit size requirement by saying question mark size. So that's what that means. Could you put the bounds in the trait iterator X instead? You could. You could do this. Oops. Size. That also works. These are mostly equivalent, but not entirely equivalent. Plus sized. T is implicitly sized here. So that works. All right, great. I think that means we're all done. I'm going to go turn on the air conditioning again. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully that was useful. And just follow me on Twitter and you'll get to learn about upcoming episodes. Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Hope
okay, let's quickly jump into another one. Ownership, closures, and threats. That's a different dude. Let's check out his channel.
Hello stranger, my name is John. Welcome to my YouTube channel.
Sorting algorithms, QA, channels, declarative lifetime annotations. Oh, I've seen the lifetime one, that was confusing. Why are my videos so damn long? I've seen so many videos from this guy already. I opened Rust open source contribution stream. What are we going to watch next? Well, I don't find something. Let's not watch anything then. And focus on getting things done instead. Okay, so cool. So this is the one where the pressure plate triggers it. Then it comes here. Then we make like it is, and we don't even have a torch. Inventory is full of crap, man. And I think I really lost sponge chests. It's too bad. No, okay, something like this. So they're activated. You might be wondering why I don't use stone pressure plates. They might be more fitting or more gentle, because I actually want a person to think that a door is opening. I will close a wall over there, then people run in and expect a door to be opened or something like that. So that's why I do that. And then you're here and then you're fucked. That's nice. I really like that. Okay, that's working. So now if I try to be smart and do this, fuck! Why is it not doing it? Shouldn't that activate? Oh, is it too short to power the piston, or is the piston not triggered, or like what's going on here? Maybe let me try it with TNT. You might be wondering why TNT, that's so dangerous. I like to live dangerous. Can someone give me food? It's like 2E2T. Well, that's probably a common thing to ask, isn't it? Anyways, okay, so let's do this. No. Okay, so I'm here. Then I built myself over there. Yes, okay, that works. Okay, cool. And then, boom. Boom! Why is it so bugged, man? What the heck? Anyways, okay, that works. I wish you could see myself quoting. Jeez. Okay, well, fine though. Okay. Nice. So that's that. Then we need the other one, that is this one. Sounds like this. And then this. So you can't remove this wall. So the only thing that you can remove is this wall, which... What about... We don't make it removable. So that you are actually completely ripped if you are there and you're... Well, there is maybe a way. You can break the observers. Can you though? Can I make this on the observers that you can't break the now I'm like over engineering myself here. So that if someone tries to be smart and is like, oh, I probably don't want to activate this observers, this seems to be a trap. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, that doesn't work because of... and I need all of them. Wait. Fuck. So if one of them is activated, that will power, but I really have to like somehow, and I can't do it up. Can I? Well, I can. That's fine. Well, oh no, I was tripping in my universe. So that's fine enough because the wall is here. Then these are fine. And okay, that's cool. That's cool. Why do I have the feeling that it will blow up? Okay, now I will just not place TNT yet, and then it will be fine, I guess. So let's do this. Then we have 4 of those. Why did I even have these in my inventory? Okay, cool. So let's go over here. So these are all off, and if I now break one of these observers, they get on. Oh my goodness. If you are here, you're just fucked. Okay, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. I'm being like, I feel like I'm 12 again. That's like the last time I was building something like this. It's yeah, it's awesome. Cool. Okay, I have all my leftover mess here. from before. That might be a bit in the way, I guess. Okay, so then I can put TNT on here so that you would have to, you see those observers and you're like, oh no, I'm fucked. So the first thing you might think to do is just, well, what is intuitive that you might do? We should check for creepers all the time. Maybe you just dig down and you're like, nah, well, you can see, I can't dig down here, that's bad. And oh, if you sneak to the edge, then you can keep walking. No! Okay, wait. Maybe yes. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. And then this actually works as something that I can go through without dying, and others can't. Because that's the way you do it. Okay, well, I love that. It's not a bug, it's a feature. That's actually some private entrance that can be used if you know how to. Okay, cool. So that's the thing. You might be looking around while sneaking, and then you, well, if you if you do that, you make it. That's fine. But what I would probably do is I would try to be smart and like break this wall. Or break this wall and then I'm blown up. Okay, that's fine. Another way is to break this thing. Well, then you can also actually escape. But before you break this, you might want to look down. That's why I did it. And then, wait, what happened? Okay, and then you, yeah, that's that. Okay, cool. Another thing is you might just place blocks and then walk over. That's also kind of, I guess, obvious. You don't expect if you place blocks that everything blows up. And then you might see if you have brain and you see these observers and you're like, if I place a block there and that gets pushed there, then this observer gets activated and it's probably nothing good. Then you might want to be 5-head and break this observer, but then my trap is like 20-head, and if you break this observer, you blow up. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I love it. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, this is it's actually more fun than like messing around with flying machines. Well, to be fair though, it's not using TNT and it's not flying, so it's also less interesting, I guess. Okay, so we need the same on this side. Okay, so we have this here. And I'm again out of these torches. 2, 4, 8. Cool. Oh, no. Okay, no. So this, and it's off. Okay, cool. And all these off torches I can then use to slap TNT on, and I will do this at the end this time. Before I thought I'd do it in the beginning to be smart, and it wasn't smart. So, yeah. And the reason why I thought it's smart is because I'm full of crap. The reason is because I thought in the end, maybe I don't know which blocks might be powered, and then if I place the TNT in all this mess that is powered, then it's stupid. But I think it's actually the wiser way to do things, because creepers. And also while refactoring when there's TNT, that's just stupid. Okay, cool. I think we can do it. So we are 20 minutes in. Did I say 20 or 30 minutes? I think I said 20 minutes. I will rebuild it better than what I did in 2 hours. And well, it was expected that I might overtime a bit, but I think I'm actually doing well time-wise. Since it's already better than before and it's almost finished. And yeah, that's cool. I didn't got demotivated. That's very nice. Sometimes have to push through failure that that gets you growing or something like that. I don't know what motivational people say at this point. Ah, fuck. Okay, so they probably say less fuck, I guess. Anyways, so you have this, and then we have this. Oh my god. Oh, that's too high. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's really good. It's going so well. Okay. So then we have this one, and we have this one. So this side is fucked, this side is fucked, placing blocks is fucked, okay, then the roof is missing. Okay. I could also... You could also mine this roof, place blocks here, so I also have to make sure that you don't mine the roof, because if you feel like super smart, you might be like, it's probably not expected that I mine the roof, and then, well, that actually isn't. But I just thought of it, so screw you and your mastermind plans. Okay, cool. How many blocks do I have to place that it's more convenient, more finished, but not too many blocks that it's blocking me? Haha, you get the joke, because blocking. Yeah, like blocking my movements, and I don't know, I think it's fine like that. So I need a roof, right? A roof like this. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's my roof. Okay, this is like the block where I maybe want to put... It was nice, to be honest, but then I would have to put it... I really liked the way that it was opening up on the top. But can I combine it with this thing? Is that actually possible? Well, let me see. Let me just rebuild it. Okay, so we had it like this. So there was fuck. Okay, these touchies. Well, I can do some professional non-touchy business here. Okay, that's looking good. Okay. So now these don't touch those. Yeah, no, these touch. Oh fuck. Ah, nice. Right. Okay. Okay, cool. So, like, where was it? Oh my goodness. Here? No, like one. Wait, like here? And if it's extended, it's one more, then it's here. Oh shit. What? Where did I move through? Through there? Funny. Anyways. Okay, cool. Like this. That's bad, because like, where do I put now the torch that detects? Can I put it here? And then can I like power a torch like directly here? Do these communicate? No. Can I? How do I? Where can it? Does this work? Also, it's probably more important what this one does. Okay, can I... Well, the other side is blocked already. Okay, can I... Can I... I can put an observer here. That gives me the advantage of the observer not powering the piston above. Yes, okay, that works. Did you see the redstone on the right blinking? I saw it. Okay. So then we can have this piston here. Well, if this piston gets activated at the same time, that's fine. Ah, okay, but yes. No, that works. So this piston gets activated by this shit here. And then this shit should somehow... Let's say we have the TNT here. And then maybe let's make it longer, that we have a little bit more space to... Let's make it a little bit cleaner. It might be more work, but then it's easier to maintain. And I think it's worth the extra effort. If I make this like this long, yes, it's huge now. And I should also maybe put some protection on the walls then, that you can just simply dig in here or something like that. We'll see. If people use X-ray or something like that, they fuck me anyways. But most X-ray configurations don't see through cable, do they? So what do you guys think? Will it work out this time? I somehow doubt it. Okay, let's see. So we have these two lines here. There's this one line. So this is the blow up line. This is has to connect it with this one line through this, because it's always activated. And okay, and then it has to go up somehow. Oh my gosh, so many blocks. Oh, okay, this is the end already. Might as well close it up. Okay, so this is powering this. And then it has to go up straight away. Like this, and like this, and then like this, and then we go here. I don't know if that's long enough, but can also put in a... Well, for the last meter. Oh yeah, it was obviously long enough, but whatever. And now it opens. Okay, that works. That is nice. And I can still move here. So that's why I made it so big, that I can move here fastly and still understand what's going on here. Okay, cool. So now, if any of this is activated, will it blow up a TNT that is in here? Yes. Oh my goodness. Why is it flying? Fuck! I don't even know who actually powered it now, but... Okay. Maybe next time I want to be more prepared to like actually let the TNT fall down. Something like that. Oh, we have phantoms coming. I feel like now I'm going backwards again. If we get night and shit like that, and we reach the half an hour, so maybe I actually failed my time plan. But otherwise, it's currently going well. Let's see. Wait, how, like, no, they have to be at this height. I have to build quicker, work harder, move faster. I really want to hear Daft Punk now, or however this band is called, you know what I mean, right? Yes, okay, this is working. This was not good. Okay, so then it's like this, and these are like that. And then we have like, oh, I can hear them already. I can hear them. Then we have it like that, then this is closed. Wait. Something is wrong. No, it isn't. Wait. Oh no. Why can I? Like this. And like this. Sweet dreams. Should I go to bed as well? Does it work? Can I? Do I have a bed here? No. How many people? Ah, we have too many people anyways. Okay, so this block was missing. I'm really trying to go fast now because I have the feeling if I don't finish it anytime soon, it will never, like actually, literally never in any point of time of history be finished by me. That's what is pressuring me right now. So why is this powered even? Like who is powering? Oh yeah, sure. Can I MLG click that one? No, I can't. Come on. Now I traded movability in my base against like error, how's it called, like emergency mitigation or something like that. Like if a TNT blows up, I can move blocks and then it falls down and doesn't do too much damage. There's a word for it, like emergency fallback, whatever, you know what I mean, right? Isn't it like just, isn't it even like a job description and you have a team for that? Risk management, nah, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. Okay, cool, so this one is up and running. This one isn't yet, so oh no, we did do that differently. We did do it with an observer and it was facing that direction, right? Okay, I think I've got it. And now the question was, what blew the TNT up? So this one is activated. I think, oh yeah, sure, the block's still there. So if I have, no, this is annoying now. If I have this line here, and I have some redstone on here, and then I have some TNT in here, yeah, this will obviously get blown up, right? I mean, no doubt. Well, yes, okay, so that is a problem. And I actually don't know what to do about it. So let me quickly do that in here. That is a problem because that means I can... Wait, I can though. Oh wait, so if this is redstone, oh, TNT is powered, but redstone not. So I can put TNT on here. Boom, problem solved. Well, leader. I didn't know he is still alive. Well, I was obviously inactive, so who am I to call him inactive? But you know. So this will work. I think I've done it. I think I'm finished. I just have to place some TNT. Oh, I had way too much space here. And then I'm done. That's awesome. I might need some more cobble. That's fine. Can get one right now. That's so good. How's my armor doing? Not too good. Oh my gosh, I need more fireworks. What? How can so many chests shulkers have no fireworks in them? Okay. Then let's wait 7 minutes until we get day again. And mine some cobble meanwhile. Oh no! Come on! Eat the fucking apple! I can't press my home button while I'm... Whatever. Okay, so cool. That's... What? Right. I feel like the withers are killing themselves anyways while I chill here. Because... Wow, we actually have many players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's definitely this week's or the last 2 weeks high score. If you subtract me, it's still a high score. I think the peak in the last 2 weeks was 8 players as far as I remember my statistics. So that's really good. My advertisement game is... I really feel like streaming and playing on the server actually helps with like getting players on here, but I don't see how it actually helps getting players on here, since my view count is at 0 and the views after the fact are also usually, well, very, very low. So I don't really see how this helps, but it seems to maybe correlate. Maybe it's also that I advertise it on a few other places. I'm not going to go into any detail here. It just varies. Some server lists upvoting the server and stuff like that. But I mean, I spent some time on advertising, but I honestly see how actually inefficient it is. So I wondered how it actually works. But that's kind of cool. I'm not going to complain. I hope the server doesn't crash anytime soon. But yeah, I'm on it. I'm literally procrastinating right now to fix the restart issue. But you know what I mean. I'm on it somehow. Procrastination is also considered like being on the project, isn't it? If I procrastinate specifically one task, you can say I'm at it, right? If I don't even the word procrastinate the task, you can say like I'm not even trying to do something, right? That's how things work. That was the shulker that was missing in my inventory. I knew it when I was down there sorting shit. Anyways, so I need the stone. So that's really cool. I'm actually excited. It gives me like, well, it's probably not very specific to me. It's probably a server owner thing that it gives you these endorphins or whatever. It's like having likes on social media or something like that. Having players on their own server is really something that really, it's so pleasing. It just makes fun to watch at the scoreboard and be like, I can't explain it. I've been hosting game servers since I play games, and so I also have this feeling on other servers, especially if they are smaller servers. I don't want to be there alone, so I'm happy if other players are there and I have a similar nice players feeling. I don't know if I inherited that from being a server owner that often, or if it's the general, oh nice, I'm not alone in the room feeling. well, maybe it's similar to, I never owned like something like a coffee shop or any store in the physical world, so to say, and but I've been there as a customer, so maybe I can correlate that experience and think about if I'm happy if there are multiple players and I'm like, nice, I'm not alone here, which is a similar but different feeling than the owner of the store who's like, oh nice, I'm making money with this and I'm successful. Well, I'm not making money with my game servers, but you know, it's probably a similar feeling that you have like players in your game server. It's probably similar to having people in your coffee shop, I would say. Coffee shop sounds so like Netherlands. I mean, like, how do you say, like, cafe? I don't know how to call it. Like, I'm not talking about smoking shit. I'm just like a place where you hang and get free Wi-Fi. Like, I don't want to name any evil big brands here, but you probably know what I mean. Anyways, and I don't have the feeling there that I'm like, I don't really care how many people are there. I don't feel more cozy if other people are there. And I don't know if you can translate it that way, but maybe I inherited that joy of watching a full scoreboard from having own servers, that I also have it on other servers. I mean, I don't know, that was probably the weirdest conclusion and investigation of my own being that one ever made. Because usually people don't make investigations about my own being, right? Anyways, so what is missing here? What is just the wall? Is it just, yeah, I think that's a good task. And then just the TNT, I guess. Come on, I have zero control. Where am I? Oh my goodness, please don't blow up here any creeper or something. Maybe I need torches. Do I have torches? I can make some. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so maybe I can close it up here so it looks like a multi-staged whatever building that's not at the same height on every aspect. What the heck? Or I close it off anyways at this height for everything. I don't have to make it any higher in the middle. Well, maybe I have to make it higher to make it look more interesting so people actually are willing to go in there. If I manage to kill a fucking equipped base hunter like Lide or any of the other dudes that chill around spawn, that would be amazing, but it's probably not powerful. Like, if someone is equipped as good as I am, for example, well, full credits to Lide for all my stuff I have, but then it's really hard to kill one with a trap. You really have to fuck up in all the ways to actually get your totem popped and then re-hit again. I can't think of a way. I have this one piston that shoots these damage 2 arrows, which actually they do some damage, but then you have to, right after the fact, mine into the wall, then get damage from the TNT, then fall down, get full damage again, and at the bottom, if I finally can get to it, I will of course put pressure plates and TNT again, so that if you fall down, you pop your totem, then you fall on TNT, and then you are dead fully if you don't have any auto totem shit or something like that, which would kill me, for example, because I don't have any cheats installed, but Lidi probably will survive it. But yeah, I see a good chance of it actually killing a equipped player if he actually messes up in all the ways possible, and yeah, that is cool, I think. No, it got activated. Haha, now you're fucked. Yeah, so I really need torches. This is way too dangerous right now. Jeez. Yeah, servers is completely fucked. Too many people online. Probably it's probably enough that one person loads all these withers in the servers, like, already fucked. I can say this right now because, well, people who are interested in the server and don't join because it has a little bit worse performance when there are few withers, don't watch until 2 hours and 40 minutes. I mean, nobody will ever see or hear what I'm saying right now, so that's that. But I mean, it's just fair to say the server has 16 gigabytes of RAM. It has the best CPU the hoster provides. I paid a... Why does it keep... Okay, now I got it. It has the best CPU my hoster provides and stuff like that. It is not a bad server, but it is a bad performing game. And then if you go like wild with withers and so on, of course the server has performance issues. And there's hardly anything you can do about it. Of course, there is in this universe, practically there is better hardware, but I can't afford this, and especially not for the long term. I went with a hoster where I can ensure that I can keep the server up for a shit ton of long time. I was talking English straight for 2.5 hours and it still leaks my German sometimes. Anyways, so I think there's nothing that I have to hide here that the server is bad or something. It's actually good, and I really thought about it, and I think I made the best trade that I can provide and ensure long time uptime and well, also performance. And yeah, so that's that. But if I want to, well, these streams are for advertisement, so in the beginning when people don't know about the server, they don't know the details, maybe they don't even know that Minecraft is written in Java and that runs in a virtual VM and it's really performing bad, especially if you run it in plain vanilla without any restrictions. And if people don't have like all this background and they just hear me flaming in the first 2 minutes of the stream where they encounter the server the first time saying like, oh, the server lags, oh, it's so bad, then they might think I'm running this on my Raspberry Pi or on machine or whatever, and it's a shit buggy server, that it's just bad. But the server is strong. It's just if you go wide on a strong server, it still can be bent to its knees. It's not the best server, but it's a good server. I want to repeat that. And it's pure vanilla. Well, that's the thing why I even keep the server up and why I think it actually serves a purpose, is because I could not find any actual Anarchy vanilla, like literally vanilla server. And if you're pure vanilla, you have some limitations on what you can do regarding increasing performance. For example, 2b2t has this plugin of entity cramming and so on. That means that you can't have a huge farm of animals, for example cows, and you can have it here, and I actually tested it with hundreds of cows. I think I've even recorded it and uploaded it to this channel. Yeah, it's been a while. Right in the beginning when I switched to this host, I was testing this, and then I was also like comparing it to my own laptop and shit like that. Didn't I explain it to that guy already? I really confuse names here. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so what I was... this animal farm thing is really sad on 2b2t that you can't do it. But this ensures that not one player can take up so much performance of the server, and that's how 2b2t ensures in one of the many aspects that it can perform better, or that it is harder for single players to eat up so much performance. And on this server it's possible. So sure, if you go wild, spawn a shit ton of withers or something like that, or you speed hack around, also there's no limitation on speed hacks, then the server will lag. But on the other hand, you have as a user, especially if there's a low player count, you can decide yourself if you want the server to perform good or if you want to go wild and have a big animal farm. You have this possibility here. And I think as the point of a user, especially if there's not many other users doing that and fucking up your game experience, this is really a big advantage. And that's just awesome. Okay, so that's that. I think I've never actually said that, but I'm right now in such a cozy environment that I created here for myself that the stream is so not exhausting for myself that I can finally freely talk about stuff that I probably should have done earlier. Anyways, okay, so why does it... Oh no, Stack Overflow. I think the server crashed now. Okay, that's bad, but I'm here, so it's not too bad. And oh, now I can actually look at the... Oh no, I'm not logged in anymore. Of course I'm not. Let me quickly do something. Okay, so the server should be starting again now. Yeah, that's the thing. What is it? What did it say though? Stack Overflow? I think it was just like, that's the usual cause, that it's not actually crashing, it's just the tick speed is too low or something like that, and then it just kills itself. And yeah. Did I blow up a chest or something like that? Oh my gosh. Can I just chill, please? Yeah, that's actually bad. Even if I get automatic restarting, look at it. We were just like 8 people or something like that. Then this is not really playable or like scalable for let's say 20 people at one time. The server would constantly crash and restart. But I don't see the server getting that popular anyways, so that's fine. I think in the long run, if we talk about for like forever, then the server will idle around maximum of 8 players, so it will crash from time to time, and then people will leave again. Now you can see only the hardcore fans will stay here, and then all will be fine. There will be no constant downtime when I get the restart in place, I think. Well, what do you know about the future, but that's how I assume it will be. So it's already 1 hour and it's not finished yet, but you know, I'm still fairly satisfied. Maybe I should take the opportunity. What the heck happened here? And maybe quickly do a word download. before things get fucked up completely. Life is too hard. Oh wow. Okay, let me spin up my world downloader tool. Can I provide a, because I have 2v2t here in place, can I provide a different, does it take an argument for Minecraft render distance, enable word generation, mask local port server? Oh, it will always use the world directory. I can probably start it from a different. You know what? It is actually too much of a hassle for me right now to get the world downloader running. And well, so I'm not going to do it. Sad, but yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. Anyways, let's get back. Oh, you can see the view count peaking to like 1 viewer or like even 2 when the server crashed. Probably people from in-game tuning in and seeing and checking what happened. Anyways, so let's go. Let's get some more. Wow, why is this not working? Get some more. Oh my gosh. Stone. And then we are good, I guess. Well, it's getting day, so it's usually a night task, isn't it? Just a little bit. Actually do need the stone now. Is here any? And let's not die this time, please. I'm not sure I'm actually trading my armor into cobblestone. I'm not too convinced by this technique. Otherwise you trade your pickaxe to cobblestone. Now you trade armor. There's probably more netherite in the end that gets burned. So yeah, but with mending and stuff, armor usually repairs itself pretty well if you don't constantly expose yourself to damage. So that's fine, I guess. Compared to a pickaxe, which usually doesn't repair itself at all. So if I don't break it and then play normal for some time, I might not actually lose any netherite. That's cool. Alright, so what's the plan? The plan is to cover up the roof, then place some TNT on the top, on all the prepared spots, and I think I finished like technically all wires and shit, and if you don't break something, nothing will explode. So the thing can be then tested quite safely, and yeah, that's cool. And then I place some TNT at the bottom, and then I will probably end the stream for today. And yeah, let's see if I don't blow up anything before I can finish the whole building, but let's see. Okay, I really wanted to close the back here. Wow, that takes so many stones already. Yeah, I should probably make it double, if not quadruple sided, so that one never decides to dig in right into here and then see all the wires and be like, ha, I bypassed the trap. I really want everyone to go like through the front entrance and be like, oh nice, I really want to go in here. But yeah, well, it can work for two sides already, so not really. And yeah, well, the whole point is that you think there is a door opening, so you need a closed thing at the other side. Yeah. I actually don't have enough stone, do I? Whatever. Okay, so let's place TNT. I don't have enough TNT either. Do I really have to farm some stone now? I can also use this, but where did I have the TNT? Here. Okay. So, if I close this with clean stone, does it look sketchy? What is this block? Do I need it? No. It looks a bit sketchy though, doesn't it? The mix of it. And also it enables X-ray. Well. Oh, I didn't finish my dispenser thing. Oh no, I thought I was done already. Wait. Oh no. Okay, so I need another wire that is like this. And then, oh my goodness, how it should not. And oh my gosh, this is so bad. It should be like this and then observer. Oh, I even have to craft it before. Okay, this is really taking up more time than expected. Well, but that was expected, obviously. Well, let's the other way around. Come on, stick. Okay, so let me speed build again. Okay, so this is this, and then we need something like, maybe give me more clean stone. Okay, so, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I can do it on the other side, something like I can also make all of these repeaters. Then this one not, and then this. Okay, yeah, I think. Do I have my repeaters even? I think I've put them in the chest. Yes, yes, that's so good. Okay, cool. So, oh, then it's not going to into the block directly, so I need it like this, and I need it like this, Sneezmoduk? Did I activate something that... Who is? What is? Where? Oh, these... Fuck, I have to move the whole thing. So I have to do it here. Then I do this one here. Then I do this one here. Oh, this works already, doesn't it? Without too much of restructure. Where's the torch though? Maybe this? Does it power it? No, it doesn't. If I go like... Okay, I can also... Okay, so this does not ever... Oh my god. Yeah. Wait. Does it work? No. It should... Ah, yeah, I broke the chain. You can see I'm highly concentrated right now. I can barely talk because I'm really tryharding to get this working. Okay, cool. So that's working. Do I also hear the click? Maybe I want to put in some delay. Not too much, was it, right? Yes, I hear the click. Okay, awesome. It's not constantly firing, which in a future iteration might be desirable, but it's okay for now, I guess. Okay, then I have to fill it with crap. And then we're good to go. Oh, and oh yeah, I want to do it from the side, so I can put lava on top, but yeah. And then I need lava for it, and I need glass for it again. Okay. Maybe let's not go this deep this time. Did I pop it? I didn't pop, right? Crazy that I didn't pop. I really want to pop though. Boy. Ah, I don't bring the glass. Come on. That's not a lot. Well, I can place it strategically. I can't pronounce it. I really can't. Well, I just give up. What a hard word. I think I've never tried to pronounce that. Okay, cool. So if the person now tries to break why would he even... whatever. Okay, I don't have any detection on these. Well, it can be made stronger in some way, but I think it's fine for now. I think in most of the cases the person will fuck up, and that's good. That was probably not the arrow I want to shoot. I want those first. And the way you get back out safe is like this. Nice. And if you just run through, you're fucked. Yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. Then I need some TNT. You can't put it directly on it, can you? Then I need pressure plates. I don't really get out. Ah, I do. Do I have any? Yes. Fuck. Oh, I really have to make sure that I don't fall, or anything else doesn't fall down here. If you die, I can also make harder pressure plates that it only activates if you're fat enough. That's probably wise, because you don't want like any items falling down here. Ah, whatever. Oh, come on. What? Why did it? Who? How? How did it? Well, maybe. Due to the lava? I don't know. Oh, come on. I really want to finish it before I mess it up. If you're watching right now or watched any of this and you well, I can check if anyone is watching. No, nobody's watching. So, well, who am I talking to? But if you watched the re-upload, it probably blew up already, so that's not interesting. But I was about to say you could check it out yourself and try to beat it or something like that. But yeah. You can't. Okay. Okay, can I place TNT now without it blowing up in my face? Is there a tunnel? Is that by me? I don't know. Okay, now I'm out of pressure plates. Of course I am. Come on, get me out. that enough? Oh no, a skeleton. That's bad. Should I? I should. Okay, let's close this up. Okay. Did it explode? I think I've heard something. It just explodes like by itself. That's bad. It's the lava, isn't it? Okay, that's bad. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to finish it because I feel like it's not worth the effort. I don't have fun anymore and nobody will ever fall into it anyways. But I would say it's pretty finished, and next time it's probably blown up when I visit it again. Too bad, but it was a fun project, so cool. Let me know in the comments if you are here to watch this stream because you were fucked by it. Now let's build the wall where you think you can like open the door. So that's how I intended it. You go like, oh, what is this place? Ah, fuck. Oh, what is this place? Oh no, it's closed. Ah, there's a pressure plate. Nice, I can go in here and run through and then it will open the door. But it actually doesn't, and then you fall down and then you're dead. Yeah, somehow like this. This is intended. But it most likely will be some OP player like Lide flying around and being like, oh, what is this? Oh, there's lava. Oh, there's all these traps. Let's grief it. Blah, and placing TNT everywhere. That's most likely how it's going to go. But hey, it was fun. Okay, cool. So thanks for watching. That's it for today. Please join the server and bear with me when it crashes. Alright. I don't have a key to stop the stream.